Hey everyone, the professor here, and welcome to the Crude Oil Sunday Analysis video. As you can see here, we had a pretty darn good week inside of our app, but now it's time to get ready for this week. So just like that, we are going to eliminate the map. So let's go ahead and start very fresh again. We're going to remove all those drawings there. We're going to head over to the day chart, and we are going to start analyzing this from the day's perspective. Now, the day on Friday, okay, I'm not going to be too much on camera today because I am traveling this weekend, but I wanted to make sure that I gave you some value. If we take a look at this day candle, we did close below the last three more recent candles here. So the fact that we did close below this threshold right here leads me to believe that based on price action, we could see some further movement down on crude oil. If we grab a Fibonacci level, so again, we always like to kind of find out where we are at on the bigger time frame. You can see here, though, that we have had 61.8 hit once and then 61.8 hit twice. So even though this candle was a bearish engulfing candle in this area, we do have what's normally a pretty strong fib. So obviously we would need to wait for the market open and what happens Sunday into Monday when it comes to those particular fib levels. So let's go ahead and mark this up right here. Again, this is going to be probably a little bit of a shorter video because I am traveling. So go ahead and pause this video if you need to and mark up these zones along with me on the bigger time frame. So what I like to do is look for these areas where we see those big, huge bounces on a daily timetable. And I also look at the wicks as well. Okay, so you can see right here, we had 1 touch, 2 touch, and 3 touch. You can see here to the bottom. So this was the area that I thought we would target a couple of weeks ago before we started climbing up here little by little. They came pretty close on this candle, taking out those equal lows, but this might just be now the push that we need to get back down into this area. So we shall see. Again, the closure of that candle leads me to believe that we may go a little bit deeper into this particular area for crude oil. So as we drop into the 8-hour chart, there's our view. We are kind of closing again right at the zone. Remember that it's never a straight line, right? A zone is kind of something of that particular area, but I'm going to keep this nice and clean with these white lines here. So now that we have that area marked up, what I like to do is look for where price has reversed previously on these smaller time frames. So as I'm looking here, I want to go ahead and mark up this area just to the top side to let me know that we have not closed above 80.64. Okay, and then we have this bottom zone to work with. So as you kind of saw before in the previous opening screenshot, right, the bigger zones give you your best return on your investment if you are willing to hold that trade from zone to zone. So these are the areas that we are going to play off the 8-hour. And then when we drop over to the 4-hour, you can clearly see here that these zones have worked very, very well. Now on the 4-hour, we do want you to recognize that there are some zones in between zones that you want to be aware of so you don't get yourself into a buy situation here, hit resistance, and then price drops on you. Okay, so what we're doing inside of our trading app is we are doing nothing more than trading zone to zone. Okay, and then lastly, I'm going to go ahead and put a area right in here where we've had some previous wicks just to give us and slow down our area. So now that we are here, okay, if this candle continues to come down, then we should see pretty much 77 or very near 77 as our next stop. Okay. So again, if we do get that gap on Sunday and we kind of gap down, and then more than likely you'll probably see price run away, and that would be the next level that price would run to. Okay. Vice versa. Let me go ahead and remove this. If we get that candle to close up here on a gap to the upside, Then many times price will move away, and then we'll come back down to close the gap. So that's what we'll be looking for early on Sunday when price does open. As you can see here, that we are in between, basically, let's just call it 79 and 77.50. Okay, so if we look at the long-term picture, okay, longer-term picture just based on price action, then we can see here that once we had this high up in this area, we did not create a new high, and then we actually made another lower high. And again, same thing here for the lower low, lower high, then we had a lower low, and then we had a lower high, and then we had a lower low. So if we continue in this pattern, if we're going to walk price down, what we might see is price come up, create another, okay, lower high, and then eventually give us another movement back down for the lower lows if this is not going to change the trend. Okay, so we cannot ignore this area. This is a super strong area. If you saw at the beginning of the video, this was the area that we had marked up where we had taken buys before here. We had taken buys before here. So until we close below this area, until we close base, until we clear this area, which would be 77.50 closing with an actual candle closure, right? We cannot expect price to come back down to 77 until we have a candle closure near 77.40, I would say. Then we can expect price to come further down near 77. Until that happens, right? If we get a bullish engulfing candle on a smaller time frame up in this area, then again, we got to presume that we're going to head back up near 79. And the way you start seeing that is by these smaller time frames. Okay, so if you take a look at this candle right here, that was your go candle. Okay, that bullish engulfing candle on the 1 hour, which basically ate these three candles, was your sign that we might be going long. Okay, that we might be going long. That was the bearish candle. I'm sorry, that was the bullish candle. Okay, so that's what you want to look for if price does come back up in this area. If we drop and close below 77.50 into 77.40, this candle got a little fat on me, then we should expect price to come further down near 77. Because again, I still believe that we have, or not that we actually do have equal lows down at this area that they came close to taking out, but they did not take out. So I think we will, revisit 77, and we may even fall deeper into the 75s once again we go zone to zone. Okay, I think that's the most important thing to remember, is that we have to go zone to zone. So if you are inside of our app, you don't need to worry about it. You're going to get these charts and you are going to get the update. If you're not there yet, I welcome you to join our trading club. You can scan that QR code up at the top, or you can join us at the professortrades.com. And again, we will give you some massive value. In addition to that, okay, we're running a 20 pip challenge. We're helping you grab 20 pips every day. Join the over 170 traders. And again, you can go directly to the professortrades.com. Get in there this weekend. And again, I'll see you with a welcome message. You'll have some tutorial videos to go over. You'll say hello to everyone in the community. They'll greet you, and then they'll start communicating with you on the current trades that are happening, not only with crude oil, but with everything else across the board as well. So whether you're a futures trader or a Forex trader, we have trade alerts for you as well. Okay, so I hope you got some value on this video. Again, I was not going to be much on camera today. I am traveling, but I wanted to give you value. Okay, if you got some value, hit that thumbs up. I appreciate you liking the video. Subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and we'll see you inside the club. Happy trading and have a great week.